All right, so when we look to start drawing this particular drawing, we have some curves in here that we're going to need to use our circle or arc tool for, which are here and here, as well as up here. Other spots we're going to use arcs, which is something different than we've done before. We haven't really used them too much. We'll use them today, and I'll kind of show you how they work with this particular assignment. The other big thing we're going to use is guidelines to figure out exactly how to get different parts of this drawing. So if we're looking at this drawing, it's 4 inches by 5. So you could start with a rectangle here, and then we could cut away from it. I'm going to try it a different way. I'm going to start and really pay attention to my lines here to see what size these things are going to be. So I'm going to go back and forth between the window. But first, I'm going to get rid of my little guy here, and I'm going to click my top-down view here. So we're looking directly over the top of it. And I said that first measurement was 5 across the bottom. So I'm going to start with a 5-inch line right across the bottom, 5 inches across. And it's disappeared. Oh, no, I never made it. I never pressed return. Just kidding. 5 inches, enter. Okay, there it is. But it's really, really small, and you might not be able to see it. And if that's the case, you can always just do your zoom extends tool and bring it back in like this. And it's just one line. Also, good opportunity. It's a new drawing. To start the new drawing and name it. Last name, space. This is 2.2. And you can say that your SketchUp prep. Don't forget to do that. And then if we're looking at our drawing now, this is where you kind of go back and forth. And you say, well, it's 5 across. And this top line is 4 inches all the way up here. So this is where we're going to use kind of a new tool. And this new tool we can use is called the tape measure tool. And it lets you make guidelines. And so if I click on this line here and come straight up, I'm going to make that 4 inches. And that's just a dimension line. That just tells me how much higher this is than this. And I'm going to use that line in a second. Other lines we know here, by looking at the drawing, is this vertical line is 1.5 inches. And that one's going to be 1.5 inches as well. So let's go ahead and put that one in. So we'll go straight up for 1.5 inches. And then this one, 1.5 as well. That looks a little bit big. Let me just double check this measurement, because this measurement on the bottom looks a little bit big, so I'm just going to double check it. Okay, and I was right. How the heck did that get to be 10? No idea. All right, so let's go back and let's delete this. Oh, I made 2 lines back to back. This should just be 5 inches. 5 inches here, and then this one is 1.5. All right, so 1.5, 1.5. Now, what I want to do next, I want to draw these lines at the top here, because we have some measurements here. So this is 1.5, and then 2. So I could actually get these lines in here very easily. 1.5 and another 2 inches by using the new guidelines that I just showed you. So if you use the guideline for the tape measure, which is the same thing, tape measure, and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag 1 over here. So 1.5, that's one line, and then over here another, what did that say, 2? I forget already. That's why it's good to have the drawing up. So 1.5, and then from that line, the guideline we just made, another 2 inches over. So let's do that. So from here we'll go over 2 inches. 2 inches. All right, so now our drawing started to shape up a little bit. By using these lines, we could figure out where to draw things. This is the top of our drawing. This line underneath it here is a 1/2 inch down, so we'll go 1/2 inch down on that one. So when you guys go to draw this, it's important that you definitely use all the measurements and not try to just draw it freehand. It has to be specific to these measurements, otherwise it's not going to work. But I've given myself a little line here too. Oops, I'll go over there. Kind of start of my drawing that looks just like this. So once we get that far, we know we have our top. And now we either have to draw this bottom part down here or our arcs. So I think I'm going to start by drawing this bottom part down here. And what I know about this bottom part is this line here is the center of our circle, and it's 1 inch from the bottom here. So I'm going to actually make that line from the bottom. And that's going to be another guideline. So our guidelines go up to, that's 1 inch, right there, like that. Okay, so now if we're looking at what we have back of the drawing, that's a little circle there, or arc. This can be a circle, as you see this point here. And if you look, you also have the guidelines here that tells you where the center points of those circles are, and that's at 1.5 inches and 2 inches. So check this out, very easy to do. The radius of that circle is a 1/2 inch. So we'll make it a, so when you draw your circle here, guys, and I think Caroline, when you created this, maybe your circle wasn't perfectly up and down here, so you want to keep it up and down on this line, and then put in the radius of 0.5 inches. It's there. Again, straight up, 0.5, and now we can take our tops and connect them. And that is our interior part of our circle. Starting to come together right there. And we'll delete the face in a minute once we finish kind of building the rest of it. And to build the rest of it, we got to come over, turn our attention to the sides here. And we know where the bottom of this arc starts and where the top ends 2.5 inches up. So let's make another guideline. That is 2.5 inches, and back to our drawing, and it's going to have a radius of 1 inch straight up from the corner. So what does that mean? That means from our corner here, we'll double click and we're going to make our radius from this spot. Use a circle, so like this. And now by using our circle, we can come straight up and straight over. And if we delete our lines, we'll get the arc of that circle. So we'll do it over here again. I'm going to go straight up. And to get a guideline that goes straight up, you just double click it. 1, 2. Okay, here we have our circle tool. Pull it down to our edge. And connect it over. All right, and that is how we get our shape. If I right click and delete this, erase his face, and now just get my guidelines and delete them. It will give you your drawing. All right, now from this point, all you have to do is go back and put the measurements in as you see them. So you just mimic the exact measurements of where they are. You put them in, and your drawing is finished. Oh, I'm sorry, I got a measurement tool. And once you get the rest of the measurements in, make sure it's saved up, take the screenshot, and submit it.